Hey everybody, right here. And 708 days. 708 days since beginning a carnivore way of eating. And this has been another good fasting week. So I've been talking about fasting a lot. And part of that reason is that it really seems to be effective for me. There's a couple of things with regards to carnivore that make it easy. And fasting kind of builds on that, right? So with a carnivore way of eating, we eat animal products, right? And I think I rightfully describe myself as eating primarily animal products, right? Because I do have some seasonings. I use salt and pepper. I will use hot sauce on my eggs. And I have used some sugar-free barbecue sauce, right? That's about the extent of it. I don't do much other than that. And then I do have periods of time where I don't really follow the carnivore way. And that's where things get really bad, right? And the reason that they get bad for me is because I like food. I've always liked food. I think most of us like food. But, I kind of worked in restaurants in high school and after high school. My wife worked for a restaurant company, like a hospitality restaurant company, for a number of years, up until just the last year and a half she did. So food and good food was always, right, a very available thing for me. I like cooking. Again, my wife loves to bake. So it's hard for me. And part of what makes it so hard is the available options, right? I want chicken. Well, do you want fried chicken? Do you want grilled chicken? Do you want wings? Do you want bone-in wings or boneless wings? Breaded, not breaded? Do you want, chicken cordon bleu? Breaded chicken wrapped around ham and cheese. Like all these different options, right? And it makes it more difficult in my mind because carnivore makes it simple. Having all the different options is just, I can't decide between this one and that one, so I'm going to have both. And I've done that more times than I can remember. I don't know how many times, gone to McDonald's. I used to go to McDonald's all the time. I'd go to McDonald's and I couldn't decide if I wanted a burger, if I wanted chicken, or if I wanted a fillet of fish. So I'll just order all three and I'll eat all three. And that was not an uncommon thing for me to do. So by moving over to carnivore, it simplifies things, right? I'm going to eat meat, eggs, and some dairy, right? That's pretty much the extent of my diet. And by reducing those choices, it makes it a lot easier, right? I'm going to eat chicken tonight. Okay, do you want fried chicken? No, because I'm only eating chicken. It's extremely simple. If it has anything else on it, that's off the table. So carnivore makes that very, very easy, right? And tonight, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I was thinking about this tonight. I went with my Elks Lodge after our lodge meeting to a tavern here in town where we regularly go. We will regularly go after the meetings to this tavern because currently we don't have our own lodge where we can get food and everything else. So we go there, and I ask the waitress to bring me 2 glasses of water with light ice because I'm just going to drink water. I'm on a fast. So I'm not going to order the wings versus a burger versus the steak because all of them come with something on them, right? So then I have to start deciding and making all these decisions and everything else. Whereas I'm on my fast, I don't have to worry about it, right? The wings I can get with no sauce and they're not breaded. So it would be okay. The burger I can get without a bun and get maybe some cheese on it and some bacon on it, but the bacon probably has sugar and the cheese may not be a good clean cheese like I would purchase directly going through ingredients lists. The steak probably has some seed oil. So I've got to make these decisions. Well, I'm fasting. There was no decision. Just bring me the water. We all got our drinks, right? Most everybody had a alcoholic beverage of some kind. One gentleman only had a Diet Coke, and that was it. Okay. And then she comes back around and says, "What would you like to order for food?" Goes around the table. Gets to me, and I held up my water. I said, "This is about dinner." So, well, people can think it's crazy, right? And my favorite thing is when people say you're starving yourself. And I'm like, no, starvation is something that happens when you don't have the food that you need. And that food can be external food or internal food. I have plenty of internal food left. So I'm not too worried about going into starvation. I am fasting. I am using my own discipline to say, for this period of time, I'm not taking in anything, whether that be a dry fast where I'm not taking in anything or a water fast where I'm taking in only water, right? And maybe electrolytes, which I didn't do any electrolytes today. And I'm running into a problem because of it. So carnivore makes it simple because I'm only going to eat these certain things. And then fasting there's no thought process. You're just not eating. I don't have to decide what I want. I don't have to decide how much of it I want. Don't have to decide any of that. And I think that's something that's getting ingrained in my mind and helping it become easier for me to do these fasts. I'm 52 hours, roughly 52 hours into my fast right now. And I feel great. I feel fantastic. Except I've developed a headache here in the last 35, 40 minutes. And I think what it is I drank too much water. So today I had 4 cups of black coffee. And I'll describe this. Each of those cups was about half of what I usually have because I usually use my Yeti tumbler and I'll have 2 of those. And I didn't take my Yeti tumbler with me to work and I didn't make my coffee at home. So I just made my coffee at work and I made 4 smaller cups of coffee. Beyond that, I've had water and I've had a fairly good amount of water. I use a 26 ounce Yeti bottle and I had 3 of those at work. And then at home, I had a glass of water, which was probably 8-10 ounces. But then at the restaurant, I had 4 pint glasses of water with just a little bit of ice. So I drank a lot of water right there, fairly quick. And I think what's happening is that I've actually kind of diluted myself. We know that if you drink too much water, you can actually wash out your electrolytes and things like that, things that you need. The other thing that's happened is I've gotten very, very cold. My hands are like ice right now. So I think I've just drank too much water. So the correction for this, of course, is going to be to drink less water and make sure that tomorrow I don't feel the coldness. I don't feel the headache and things like that. I will probably have some electrolytes tomorrow. Actually, I take that. I did have electrolytes today. I did do an element pack today in one of my bottles of water. So I did have electrolytes today. But I think tomorrow I'm just going to kind of be mindful of just how much water I'm drinking, especially tomorrow night when, I'm drinking to break my fast. So I'm going to be drinking water. I'll be sipping water, and followed by bone broth. So it'll be a little bit easier to judge how much water I'm drinking because I'm not only drinking water. But I'm going to try and be careful with this because I don't want to get myself to the point where I'm having a headache and I'm feeling chilled. So I got to be mindful of it. So the moral of the story today is that the fasting can be easy because you're just not eating, not making any choices. All you're doing is being disciplined to only drink water or not drink anything at all in a dry fast. And then just be careful about how much you're drinking. Make sure you don't oversaturate your body where you're washing away the good things that your body needs. So that's what I'm talking about tonight. Tomorrow night will be my fast break. Planning to break it with bone broth. And I spoke to my wife about her dinner plans tomorrow night. Her dinner plans tomorrow night aren't really, it's not something where she's going to be cooking a bunch of stuff and some of it's for me. It's something where it doesn't matter. I don't need to eat it. And so I'm telling her not to plan for me to eat at all. And if I do want to eat after the bone broth, depending on how my body's responding and how I feel, my plan is for eggs and maybe a little bit of bacon. So that's it. That's my day 708. 708. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.